So let's learn some Python. Here you see three different variables. You can add or initialize them in a single line like x, y, z, test1 and test2 and test3. So if I run the Python code like python test.python, I print test1, test2 and test3. So in Python, it's possible to initialize it in a single line, and that's a good advantage compared to other languages. It is not possible to do that. So how it works is like I have x plus space and then y plus space and then z. That's why you see down test1 space, test2 space and test3. So x is assigned to test1, y is assigned to test2 and z is assigned to test3. And this can be, you can add also more variables and more values. So that's one thing. And here I'm just explaining it in a better way, like x is test1, y is test2 and z is test3. And you see test1, test2, test3, that's what is being printed. And how it's being printed is like the print command prints those values, and that's how it's linked as I marked. So this is how you assign three different variables assignment in a single line. And with the print command, you can print out that value. This is something the computer prints it out so that you can see as a viewer. It's something like a visual output, which you see in like machines where you see some outputs, right? So inside there'll be programs. So here that's what print is for. It's also used for debugging purposes so that we know what is being printed and how things are being calculated. So x is test1, y is test2 and z is test3. It's a very simple command. It might be complex for beginners, so that's why I'm explaining it very slow. So that's about it. The next one, here you see the space, so double quotes space, so that test1 and test2 test3 are printed a bit separated from each other. So that's how you put the space, and that's what I'm pointing out. I'm just marking the space which is being printed, which is resulting from the double quotes with a space. So that's the thing. So next, let's compile this. Let's go to another topic in this thing. I'm just going to give some space and then going to create a new variable where I put 10, which is the integer value. So now I try to attach this 10 in the same print. So I want to print like test1, test2, test3 and another integer value. So I'm just doing this and I'm compiling it. So this is throwing an error. So let's see what the error is. It says type error can only concatenate string, not int, because we are adding an int to the string here. So plus is something like we are just concatenating strings, which is possible in Python. So but we can't add a integer to this concatenation. So what we do, we convert it to a string. And how you do it is string brackets a. This will convert the 10 as a string. So that we tell the computer that it is a string. So now when I run it, you see test2, test3 has a 10, and that comes from that specific value, which I'm just adding a space so that it's more clear. And then when I run it like Python test, and you see the space is coming there. So this is about adding a space and then converting an integer into string, which is called typecasting in programming. So this you can do it with other values also. You can convert with like float or any other format to another data type. It is very easy to do that. So now let's look at another example. So global variables in Python. So in C, C++, you know global variables where you assign a global variable means that you have one variable which is accessible throughout the program. So you just initialize one time somewhere in the program and then it's accessible everywhere. So that's what you call global variables. So let's see how it works in Python. So now I'm typing variable 1 equal to test, which is a string or a text or whatever you call it. So I am going to just type I'm a global variable, simple sentence. Yeah. So this is a variable which is like a container. You store data in that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a function for which in Python you use the word def, def. with that word I'm just making it a bit bigger so that you can see it properly. So you type def and then write the function name. So this will be the function name. The function name can be anything which you user define, that is you can define, and then a colon. This is typical Python syntax: def function name bracket bracket colon, and then print variable 1. So here I'm just printing out the variable which is declared or defined on top in that function. So now I'm going to call the function from below, like function 1. So the function 1, once it's called, then it will go there on the top and then call the print variable 1. So if I now run this program, so what we expect is we print I am a global variable. That's what will be printed outside, right? So let's see what happens when I compile it. So I'm just saving it, and you can also create more functions like this. I'm creating another function like function 1 and function 2, which is basically just to demonstrate how the global variable works. So now you see I'm just calling function 1 and then function 2. So there are two defined functions here, and I'm going to now make it a bit smaller so that I can run this, compile this and run this program. I'm opening a terminal, and then here how you compile this program. The program is called test.python, and what you do is you type python space test.python, and this will compile. So you see here it's compiled, and then I will see the execution what it's printing out. So basically it will print out 2 times I am global variable. That's what we expect. So now I'm typing python test.python, and you see I am global variable, I am global. It's not displayed a bit properly. It's in the below type, and you can see it. So now I'm just moving the variable 1 inside the function, and I'm going to try the same thing, and let's see if it works. So you see I am global variable is printed once, which is from the function 1. But the second function, second call is creating an error at line 11. So when you see line 11, it goes to function 2, and there's also line 8. So it goes to first function 11, and then it calls function 2, and at line 8 is the error. So that's what the Python here indicates. Line 8 you get the error, and then now we'll do some modification so that it works. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in global here. Yeah, and then save it and see how it works. So this is to tell the variable that it is a global variable, and then you can compile it. So now when I run, it's still giving an error which says invalid, because you're not supposed to initialize the global variable inside the function. So I need to move the variable 1 to the top and then just say global variable inside the function. So this is something which you have to remember. So I'll just copy this global variable on to the top and remove the global, because you need to specify the global keyword inside the function. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to print here global variable 1. So now I'm telling the function 2 that I am dealing with a global variable that is declared outside. So the thing is, now when you run this program, then you will see that it compiles and runs without any problem, because we have set the compiler that variable 1 is a global variable. So you can put the variable 1 inside the function 1 also now, because we are indicating this as a variable 1, and that should be working. So you can try that. Just try putting variable 1 inside function 1 and just declare global variable 1 in function 2 and see if it works. And you can pass your results in the comments if you want. Thank you.